What happens when world's most ambitious economy begins to crumble from within? What if same playbook that once lifted 800 million people out of poverty is now pulling China into deep slowdown?
China's economy is imploding.
A prolonged housing crisis in China upending long-held values such as the belief in the need to own property.
In the city of Zunyi, there's a road that speaks volumes about the state of the Chinese economy.
Is this the fall of an empire or warning to every growing economy, especially India? Let's be honest, for years, China was unstoppable. Skyscrapers rose overnight. High-speed rail ran across deserts. Real estate became the backbone of Chinese wealth. In fact, China consumed more cement every 2 years than United States used in the entire 20th century. But here's the twist. It wasn't really the demand driving the boom. It was debt, and tons of it. Meanwhile, do consider subscribing to the channel if the subjects of business, finance, and economy are of your interest. Today, some cities of China have over 65% of housing vacancy. The famous ghost cities of China are live examples of how China created massive real estate, housing complexes, and cities just to drive its GDP growth numbers. Today, most of these are lying vacant with no soul living there. By end of 2023, China had built over 65 million vacant houses. Post that, they have not yet published any data. Why? Because even if no one lives there, these projects have pushed up their GDP on account of materials purchased or manufactured, salaries paid, the loans issued, and much more. Evergrande, one of China's top developers, collapsed under $3 billion debt, and this triggered a massive panic in their real estate sector. Now think about it. A nation built homes that people couldn't afford for people who didn't exist. Have you seen something rise too fast and crash just as hard? Do share an example in the comments. While buildings stand empty, China's youth stand unemployed. In 2023, the youth unemployment rate touched about 16%, so high that post-2023, government stopped reporting and publishing the data. College graduates are turning into food delivery boys. Engineers are lining up for clerical exams. China promised prosperity, but is now delivering pressure and despair to its citizens. If this were happening in your country, what would you expect your government to do first? Do let me know in the comments. An unavoidable question that arises here, what Chinese think about their economy? With skyscrapers coming and China's propaganda machinery working overtime to create a rosy picture of Chinese economy, its people's refusal to spend money is choking Chinese economy. On the face of it, it looks like a thriving consumer market with 1.4 billion people. But the fact is, Chinese consumption accounts for just 39% of the total Chinese GDP, compared to 68% of United States and 56% globally. Why do you think Chinese are not spending in their economy and heavily saving? Do share your views in the comments. Hopefully you would have subscribed to the channel by now. Let's move forward. Now here's the part no one wants to talk about. China is growing old before growing rich. The China's one-child policy, introduced in 1979, once praised, has been haunting them and has been discontinued since 2015. As a result of this policy, by 2035, 1 in every 3 Chinese will be over 60. This will result in 4-to-1 family model, which means one working adult will have to feed 2 parents and 4 grandparents. That's a shrinking workforce, slowing demand, and exploding healthcare costs. India is also witnessing falling fertility. Are we prepared? Let me know what do you think. And while China battles these internal storms, the world has quietly moved on. China's export demand is slowing. The US is pushing de-risking. Companies like Apple, Foxconn, and Samsung have been shifting to Vietnam, India, and Mexico. A strong reflection of any country's economy can also be seen in its stock market. The Chinese stock market has given zero returns in last 18 years. Shocking, isn't it? For an economy which has been aggressively growing for last 3 decades or so. Now what does that mean? Do write your views in the comments. Exports to the US has dropped 12% year on year. Foreign investments are fleeing. And the once unstoppable tech giants, they have been crushed under state crackdowns. China thought control equals strength, but businesses need freedom, not fear. Now here's where it gets real for us. India is rising, the world is watching, but are we making the same mistakes that China did? Blindly boosting real estate, ignoring quality jobs, or pushing youth towards raw degrees without any real employment? Hard truth, growth without balance is a ticking time bomb. Real estate can't be the economy, youth can't be left behind, and demographic windows, once closed, will never reopen again. Can India learn before it's too late? Or we too will build empty towers over broken dreams? Do drop your thoughts below. I read each and every comment. And let me invite you into the discussion for others to participate, discuss, and come to some positive conclusions. If you found this eye-opening, do not forget to hit the like button. Share this with someone who may need to know what's happening beyond the headlines. And do subscribe, because future belongs to those who understand present. Be inspired, keep building.